Welcome to BizJet TV. My name is Fabrizio Poli. I'm your aviation advisor, and today's episode we're going to be talking about the US election and the impact it's going to have on the private jet world. So you'll be hearing my take on if Biden wins, what's going to happen to the private jet world, if Trump wins, what's going to happen, and the impact on that. So my analysis is here for you. This channel is all about private aviation. The purpose of the channel is to educate you about private jets, the different types of jets, how to use the jets. We talk about other things as well as private jets, business, flying machines. We talked about space. The last episode we interviewed astronaut Terry Virts. If you haven't checked that episode, I encourage you to check that one out. Very interesting, and talking about commercialization, space, and that. If you want to be specific and find out more about what you need to be doing private jet wise, feel free to reach out to me on an email and we'll schedule you in for a call. I'll do a one-to-one and go into the specifics about your business and your travel needs and seeing what advice we can give you here on private jet acquisition, leasing, chartering, whatever it may be. So enough from me on this intro. Let's get straight into the nice, juicy episode today about the US election and its impact on private aviation. Off we go. So the question I've been asked over the last few weeks, US election, what's going to happen to the private jet market? If Trump wins, what's going to happen if Joe Biden wins? So interesting question. If we go back 4 years ago and when Donald Trump got elected president, many people didn't think it was going to happen. It happened. One of the first things he did, apart from the many that he did, was to decrease taxation on private jets. And he did this to allow businesses to acquire a private jet and write off from a tax perspective the depreciation of the aircraft and the usage of the aircraft like never before. And the reason that he did this, he didn't, and a lot of people, pointed their finger and they said, oh, he's just doing this to protect his rich friends. No, the reason he did this is because he's been using private jets and helicopters for years as a business tool. He understands how important it is for a business to get around quickly and be flexible, and that's what the private jet offers. And also allowing American businesses to be more competitive. And that's why he passed those laws. I don't care what political denomination you come from, but from a business perspective, it makes a lot of sense. In fact, we saw the business jet market pick up nicely in the United States. Now, the other thing that has happened and will happen, we've seen that, the US have adopted this almost like anti-China stance. And the Chinese had been expanding all over the world. And because of Trump's policies with importation of Chinese products and whatnot, and encouraging American businesses to move back to the United States. Look at Apple, just opened a manufacturing plant in Texas, and all things like this have been happening. So this is something that has affected the Chinese economy. And then, of course, the coronavirus came along, and that took a lot of trust away from the Chinese, people not trusting the Chinese, and so a lot of manufacturing has moved out of China. A lot of people don't want to do business with China or buy products from China because of the virus, because of the policies, etc. And so a lot of manufacturing has moved out of China into the countries that surround China, like Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, or whatever. So as a consequence of that, those economies have started to grow. Now, this is quite interesting to see, because if Donald Trump wins the election, then this is going to continue. And we have already been seeing, the first Boeing business jet was delivered to an entrepreneur in Vietnam last year. This had never happened before. We've seen the private jet market start to grow in those areas around China as a result of a Trump win 4 years ago. And I think this is going to continue if Donald Trump wins the election. So we'll see growth in the private jet industry in Southeast Asia, which is the Asia Pacific region, which is the area of the world where the economy is going to grow the most because there's more population there, and the population is a younger population than elsewhere, and also more wealth is being created in the area. So it's quite clear that a lot of that private jet market is going to be growing in that part of the world. And we'll also see more growth in the United States as more businesses will be, with the lower taxes and everything that Trump's introduced, it's going to encourage businesses to keep expanding, and also businesses to open up in the United States and use private jets as a business tool. So that's what's going to happen if Trump wins. If Biden wins, obviously he's going to start reversing a lot of the work that Trump did. He probably will take a negative stance towards private jets. So we'll see private jet ownership slow down in the United States. But we will see private jet ownership pick up in China because Biden is very aligned with China. We'll see China get more power. So a lot of the power that was taken away from them will be restored. As a consequence, those countries around China, which were picking up some of the business and starting to grow and starting to move away from China, China will be able to gain more stronghold on those countries, as well as doing a lot of the stuff that they have been doing in Africa for years. They'll be able to expand there and that. And of course, they're going to need private jets. So we'll see a lot more private jet ownership on behalf of Chinese if this happens. So overall, I'd say that's my take on the whole, Trump versus Biden impact on private jets. I'm not going to disclose here who I would vote for. I'm British, so I can't vote in the United States. But ask your questions, comment below. Let me know what you think. Is Trump going to help private jet market more than Biden? How is that going to work? And what's your take on it? What do you think about what I said? Post below. And also, if you haven't subscribed to BizJet TV, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel all about private aviation. And any comments and suggestions for future videos is more than welcome. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.